So, and I hope that you're staying out of trouble. So to wrap up the year, I want to share with us how we can make papaya oil in the house by yourself, especially for guys, and how you can use it for other things. Yes. And in today's video, it's going to be more practical than theoretical. Although I'm going to be talking, but I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to make papaya oil from my house today and every other thing. So without further wasting your time, because I am timed actually to this life, I want to get right straight into the video. So what is papaya, especially for people that are in Nigeria? Papaya is pawpaw, the pawpaw that we know, and pawpaw is in season this period. Pawpaw is in season this period. So if you can lay your hands on pawpaw, get pawpaw, eat the pulp, eat the flesh, keep the seed, keep the skin, because those two parts are parts that you want to use for this very step that I'm showing you. Some people also choose to use the pulp, that's the flesh, but man, I love pawpaw so much that I cannot do that, right? I cannot do that. So in today's video, I'm going to be using, see, my baby is very very busy looking at me. In today's video, I'm going to be using dried pawpaw skin. dried pawpaw skin dried pawpaw skin. Yeah, dry pawpaw skin. That's what I'm going to be using to make this infusion today. Dry pawpaw skin. Now, like I said, papaya is pawpaw. People can choose to use the flesh. Yes, people can choose to use the skin, like I'm going to use today, and some other people can choose to use the seed, like I've done before. Anyone that you want to use, there are different methods to using them, right? And in my method today, I'm going to be using the oil, the double boiler method. That's because this is the dried skin. This is the dry skin. Now if you're using the fresh pulp, the fruit itself, you know it will be difficult to dehydrate unless it is unripe. If it's ripe, it will be difficult to dehydrate. So you want to do a fresh, yeah, they call it maceration, infusion, fresh infusion. So I'm going to be using coconut oil for my own infusion today, and I'm going to be putting you through the steps. Now what you'll be needing are either a mason jar. You would need either a stainless plate or a plate that can um contain heat, that can withstand heat. Yes. So what I want to do here now, since I'll be using this my jar, is to pour in my um dried dried papaya flesh inside it. I'll be using coconut oil. I've shared that papaya oil can be used on your male skin if you are a guy. If you are a guy that is looking for something to use on your skin, you can use papaya oil for yourself. This is my hot pressed coconut oil. I'm doing this because I would want to use the macerated oil, the infused oil, for a body butter. Okay, for a body butter. So this is the step by step. You want to get either a stainless bowl or a bowl a withstand heat. I'm using this, and then you pour in your papaya, whether seed, whether flesh like I'm using, or whether the skin as I'm using, or the flesh, right? So welcome to everybody who is joining the live. I don't know, I cannot see you, but if I could have just called you out. But welcome to everybody who is joining this live. In today's live, I am sharing with us how you can make papaya oil from the comfort of your home. Papaya oil is used for skincare purposes, yes, mainly skincare purposes. And I've shared some videos who and whom can use it. And in the recent videos that I shared that men who are looking for a suitable skincare routine can use papaya oil on their skin, and they can use it in combination with other oils. If you have dry skin, a male that has dry skin, you want to combine papaya oil with castor oil, you want to combine papaya oil with carrot oil, and it would do a lot of, even with almond oil, it would do a lot of work on, moisturizing your skin from inside out. If you have slightly wet, slightly oily skin, you want to use papaya oil like that, because it's it has, it is non-comedogenic. It does not clog your skin pores. It is a lightweight oil. So permit me, when you have done this, when you have gotten your, so I was teaching how you can make papaya oil from the comfort of your home. Now there are two steps, or two, there are different methods that you can be using, but the method I'll be using for the sake of this live today is the double boiler method. And I'm going to be putting this in a pot that contains water on low heat. Now, if I do not want to do this method, since it is dried, I can cover it and keep in a dark spot, right? So the two methods that you can use when using dried papaya um, flesh is either the double boiler method or the cold infusion method. So this double boiler method will mean that I'm going to put this on the fire. So give me a few minutes on the fire, and we're going to set our timer for 30 minutes. Yeah, so this is almost 8:30. Okay, so I'm sorry, welcome back. So this is almost 8:27. I'm going to be timing this for 30 minutes. Like I said, I'm using the double boiler method. If you do not want to use the double boiler method, you can use the cold infusion method, where, as I've placed my papaya constituents inside the bottle and poured my oil, I cover it and keep in a cool, dark place. And all I want to do is to just go back there and stir. Hello, Charles. Good morning. Hi. Happy Christmas and New Year in advance. Yes. So that is it. The heat you want to, that's if you're using now the double boiler method like I'm using, you want to ensure that the heat is minimal, very, very minimal. So it doesn't, it doesn't make your papaya and the oil lose its nutrients, right? So now, while we'll be waiting for that, I want to talk more about um other things that you can do with papaya oil. So starting out, yes, we've done that. Papaya oil, like we said, is gotten from pawpaw. Pawpaw, you can use pawpaw seeds. If you're having skin conditions, if you're having acne, if you have um they call it sporasis, where you have skin rash. Okay, your name is Chandri. Hi, Chandri. Hi, Chandri. I love you too. I love you. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. If you have skin conditions, you want to use papaya seeds, papaya seeds oil. Yes, though the smell is not very pleasant, but it is very, very effective for skin related issues. Yes. Now, so what will now maybe cause the smell to be reduced might be the oil that you'll be using to infuse, or the essential oil that you might want to add to it after your infusion, right? So like I'm saying, you can use pawpaw seeds, you can use pawpaw flesh, you can use pawpaw skin to make your papaya oil. So whichever one you want to use is very, very potent and effective. Now, when you want to make papaya oil, one thing that I would always say you should do is consider your skin type. I have very oily skin, so I always want to use oils that do not clog my pores, further clog my pores. I always want to use lightweight oils. I always want to use oils that when I use, they do not leave residue on my skin. If you have dry skin and you want to use papaya oil, you want to use oils that are a bit heavy. Yes, because papaya oil is lightweight. Papaya oil is lightweight. So that is that. Those are the parts of the papaya fruits that you can use to make your papaya oil: the seeds, the flesh, and the skin. So in today's video, we're actually making papaya oil from the dried skin. Now you can either use the flesh, that's the skin, dried or fresh. But then in fresh infusions, there's something that happens when you use fresh infusions and do not carefully watch them. The moisture content in these fruits can impact your oil and cause it to go smelly. They call it rancid, cause it to go smelly. And once your oil gets rancid, there's no way, you cannot use it on your body. You cannot use it on your body. So I'd always, encourage you to use dry plant material. Now that the dry season is here, it wouldn't take too long. You can just, shred your, even if it's the flesh you want to use, you just ensure that it is not overly ripe. You shred your plant material and keep it in a place where air and a little sunlight, morning sunlight, can dry it up for you. When that is done, you can now infuse without problems. You can see how dry and crispy my own papaya skin is. With that, I do not have to worry about moisture or anything that wants to impact the oil. Now, coming to infusion with your different oils, I've said it, when you're infusing with oils, you consider your skin type. Because I'm going to be using this in a body butter. In making a body butter, I'm using coconut oil, but normally I should go for something like almond oil or carrot oil. But because the butter I'm using, which is beef tallow, is thick and rich, it wouldn't have much dry impact on my skin. So what are the characteristics of this very papaya oil? Papaya oil is lightweight. Yes, that's one of the topmost characteristics. It is lightweight. When you hear oil is lightweight, it easily penetrates the skin. It does not sit on your skin like castor oil would when you apply it on the skin. So if you have extremely dry skin, that's the reason why you have to pair it with an oil like carrot or castor oil, so that it doesn't look like your skin is still dry when you've applied something. Now, because of this lightweightedness, it penetrates deeply into your skin. And that's why I recommend it for guys. Because most guys, they don't do much, but the little that you do, because you're always covering up, goes a long way. So if you're a guy that is looking for what to use on your skin, papaya oil is the best bet for you, especially if you're always, on long sleeves, trousers, and the rest, right? So who can use papaya oil? Virtually anybody can use papaya oil. Infants can use papaya oil, in as much as you know the source of the papaya oil, in as much as you know the oil which the papaya oil has been infused in, right? Yes. So infants can use papaya oil. Children, toddlers, teenagers, adults can use, everybody can use papaya oil. Yes, everybody can use papaya oil. So what is the most suitable time for you to want to use papaya oil? Anytime. Anytime you have your bath, anytime you feel like applying something on your skin, you want to just get some of it and splatter all over your body. Yes, papaya oil is that rich. Papaya oil is that rich. So coming to the seeds of papaya, that's purple. If you have acne, acne that has lingered for long, I'm going to drop this tip with you, and I would recommend that you try it out. Get papaya seeds, dry them and crush them. Dry them and crush them. Then you get neem oil, and infuse that papaya seeds inside the neem oil. Allow it to sit for some days and use it on your acne, maybe on your chest, at your back. Just use it and see the wonders that papaya seed does to your body. Yes, it's that effective. Permit me to go check on my oil again. Okay, so our papaya is still on the fire, and that's one thing you want to do. So whether you are using the double boiler method or you're using the cold infusion method, you want to ensure that you are constantly checking. If if you're using the double boiler method, you want to just gently stir and ensure that all of the plant material is, soaked in the oil. And even if you're using the cold infusion method too, just, once in 2 days, go open up the container and give your bottle a little shake to ensure that everything is mixed together. So now I want to talk about some of the pairings that you can do with papaya oil. Yes, with papaya oil. Papaya oil can be paired with virtually any oil at all. Papaya oil can be paired with any oil. Like you can see this morning, I paired mine with coconut oil to make the infusion. Yes. And the reason why you're pairing papaya oil with other oils is because you basically cannot extract oil from papaya on its own. So you're using the plant material, you're using the plant parts, the seeds, the flesh, the pulp, and infusing in other oils to get the nutrients that are embedded in papaya fruit itself. So that being said, for ladies, for ladies who want to use papaya oil, you can pair papaya oil with almond oil if you have oily skin. If you're having oily skin like myself, you can pair papaya oil with almond oil. Yes, you can pair papaya oil with carrot oil. You can also even pair papaya oil with coconut oil. Now, if you have extremely dry skin as a lady, you want to get castor oil and pair your papaya oil with it. Yes, and the ratio you want to use that in is 2:1. That's, let's say you're using 2 mils of papaya oil. You want to get 2 mils of papaya oil and 1 mil of castor oil, because it's like a dilution. Yes, so that it stays, still balanced and able to penetrate your skin. So as a guy, because me, I'm very, very concerned about guys. I'm very, very concerned about guys because some of them want to do better, but they do not know where to start. As a guy, if you've checked and you see that your skin is always dry, your skin is always dry, you can get papaya oil and carrot oil. Yes, and you can use it from your head to your toe. Now, let's say you have beards as a guy. When you're using papaya and carrot oil, it not only fixes your skin, it also fixes your beards. Those two oils have been proven over time to soften the beards. Yes, it's been proven to soften the beards. Hello, Kennedy. Thank you for joining in. Greetings from Mother Russia. Greetings from Nigeria. Greetings from Nigeria. Thank you, everyone who is joining this live. I'm really, really appreciative, and I'm just hoping that you would get something, one or two things to benefit yourself from this life. So, as I was saying, if you're a guy, you want to pair papaya oil with carrot oil. While this, yes, I'm saying this because when you use this pairing, it doubles as both a body oil and a beard oil. A body oil and a oil. Yes. So the second pairing that you would want to use as a guy is papaya and coconut oil. This is for people who have just normal skin. Normal skin. And like I would always still say, If you're covering up, if you cover up frequently, then this very pair, papaya and carrot and coconut oil, will do a lot of good for your skin. It will do a lot of good for your skin. Sorry, please. Oh, yeah, so the third oil that you can pair with papaya oil is palm kernel oil. Yes, palm kernel oil. Yes, questions you never want to be asked. So these are the pairings that you can get for your skin, even as a guy. Yes, you can use palm kernel oil if you have if you have very normal skin. If you have very normal skin, you can use palm kernel oil. So yes, with these pairings you can now tweak it to your liking. You can tweak it to your liking. Hey. I have a visitor in the background. Okay, so this now brings us to, you know, virtually everything I've written down about that I would want to talk about papaya oil. So, would you have any questions? Yes, would you have any questions? Today we're talking about how to make papaya oil by yourself from the comfort of your home. And all that you'll be needing are your papaya plant material. You could use the seeds, you could use the flesh, you could use the skin, whichever one that pleases or suits you. Today I'm using the skin. And then another thing that you'll be needing is your carrier oil. Your carrier oil in this case must not be olive oil. It can be any oil of your choice. Today I'm using coconut oil for my own infusion. And when you want to do this very infusion, you can choose to use the double boiler method like I am using, that requires heat. That requires heat, or you can choose to do the cold infusion where you would have to keep your infusion for days before you can use it. Now what the double boiler method does is it fastens the process, but one thing you want to always ensure is that your heat is kept at very minimal temperature. Your heat is kept minimal, yes, so your plant material does not lose the nutrients in it. Sorry, I'm going to bring up my baby. Come. You know, since I do like this, it is sweat. Sorry. I am okay. Okay, so we have a visitor here. She's been by herself all the while, and I think she's getting tired. So, like I was saying, you could choose the double boiler method, or you choose the cold infusion method. Any of these methods will give you what you are looking for. Now, why you cannot express oils from papaya is because papaya does not have an oil of its own. It doesn't have an oil of its own. So you'd have to infuse it either using the double boiler method or using the cold infusion method. So for the sake of this life, using the double boiler method so that you can see how to make it. And my oil is still on the fire there with very minimal heat. I'm going to check on it again, and I'm going to show you by the end of 30 minutes how it came out. Now, what can you use these very papaya oils for? You can use it on your skin. Yes, I do not recommend using papaya on the hair because it will dry out your scalp unless you're using it alongside other oils, right? So these are what we've been talking about, and I'm just going to go check up on my infusion again today. Alright, so this is infusion. I'm going to sit down first, make I feel this thing well. Yay! Sit down. Sit down. No cry, no cry, no cry, no cry. Sorry, she's going to be crying in the background, but let me be fast about it. So, we've gone for 15 minutes, and I just stopped to show you. If you see, my my papaya petals, my papaya skin is looking a bit softened, when you put something on the fire, and it is beginning to soak up something. That's just the way it's showing here. So this is it. I'm still going to run it for another 15 minutes to complete the 30 minutes that I intend to run it for. So if this is what you want to do, just ensure that the oil that you are using covers your plant material totally, and the heat you're using is minimal. Yes, when you're done, you want to sieve out your oil. Can you see? Can you see? So this is no longer coconut oil that I started out with. By the end of this infusion now, I would have gotten coconut and papaya oil in one, right? So I'm coming. Let me still drop this back into my pot. You did stop for my left, I mean. Eh, eh, eh. You did stop for my life. Yeah. So far so good. We've gone for over 15 minutes with our infusion, and you know, I'm just going over all that has been said. So if you have any questions, you can choose to drop them in. You can choose to drop them in the comments section, right? You can choose to drop them in the comments section. Yes, as the year is gradually coming to an did I say gradually? The year has gradually come to an end today, and then you want to be very, very intentional about your skin. You want to be intentional about your skin. You want to be intentional about what you apply on your skin. That's the reason why I'm wrapping up the year with this life, to show you that even with papaya in season, there are a lot of things that you can do. I said it earlier, and I'm going to repeat it again for the sake of people whom will eventually see this at the later time, that if you have skin conditions, if you have acne, if you have pimples, scars, if you have pimples, scars that have refused to leave, you can use papaya seed. You can use papaya seed oil. And how do you do it? Just like I have used papaya flesh, you want to get papaya seeds and allow them to dry, crush them, and put them in neem oil. Neem oil. You can allow it stay for a week, that's infused for a week, and then use morning and night on your skin. Use morning and night on your skin, and you would see the difference. You will see the difference. Yeah. So these are some of the things that you can do with papaya. Does it have to be papaya? It doesn't have to be papaya. If you do not like papaya, I'm talking about papaya today. That's the reason why. But if you want, you can choose. There are lots. There are lots of oils that you can use. You can use carrot oil. You can use coconut oil. You can use almond. You can use castor oil. When I'm asking people to use castor oil, they have to dilute it with other oils. So it does not have to be papaya oil. If you're sensitive to papaya and its properties, just ensure that you use what is suitable for you. So that's it. Doesn't have to be papaya, but we're talking about papaya today. That's the reason why. Hello, Joey. So it doesn't have to be papaya at all. It doesn't have to be papaya. So you can kindly drop your questions, your reasonable questions in the comment section. Somebody's asking me if I'm straight. You can ask questions related to what I'm talking about here in the comment section, and I will respond to you. So it doesn't have to be papaya at all. It doesn't have to be papaya. Okay. So whichever method that you've chosen to use to make your papaya oil. Okay, Joey, let me also add depth to this let me add depth to the answer I've given you. If you also want to make maybe carrot oil from your home, this method I've shared that you use in making papaya can also be used, right? So if, for example, you want to make carrot oil, oils from plant materials that you know do not have an oil of their own unless they are being infused, you want to dry them out first, because drying them out reduces the moisture to a large extent and also ensures that your infusion does not go bad, doesn't go rancid, right? So yes, you can choose to use the double boiler method, or you can use to just you can choose to use the cold infusion method, where you would just soak in your plant material in oils and allow them for a week or more before you start using them. But yes, as a first timer who is trying this out, I would always ensure, I would advise that you use the cold infusion method. It teaches patience. It teaches patience because yes, your plant material now has time to diffuse, to infuse into the oils that you've soaked it in. I'm using this very method because I'm not a newbie, and for the sake of this life, right, to show you what it would look like at the end of your infusion. Some people use the double boiler method, sorry, for longer periods, and that's even where it's more effective. Does that question relate to what I'm saying? Who is this, Belly or who? Okay, so that being said, I'm going to be bringing that out now. Oh, it does? It doesn't, please, barely. I'm going to bring out the infusion and filter it right in your Okay, normally I should allow it to cool down before I filter it. So I'm going to just bring it out and show you. So when your infusion runs, even the cold infusion method, when it runs its complete course, you want to get a muslin bag or a sieve, a fine mesh sieve, and sieve out your infusion, and then bottle it and begin to use it. So for this one now that's on the fire, I'm just going to allow it to cool down for a while before I would sieve it and then use it my um for what I intend to use it for. So I'm just hoping that you're able to get one or two things from this life that I've shared today. And yes, if you're in Nigeria, if you're in Abuja and you are looking for papaya oil, unadulterated papaya oil, I make these oils and I sell them. I sell them, yes. I make these oils and I sell them. And yeah, you can reach out to me to get any of the oils that you desire to get. So this is, let me get the oil one more time and we'll call it a day. All right, so you can perceive from here that this has infused properly. Yes. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to now leave it for a while to cool down before I would sieve it and then use it. I will use it. Now, one thing I would want you to know is that for this double boiler method, you can let it run for as long as you want. Wait, you can let it run for longer periods. Yes, you can let it run for the longer the better. The longer the better. So mine has run for up to 30 minutes now, and I'm just going to let it cool down, sieve it, bottle it. No, this very one I will not bottle it. I will use it to make my body butter. Yes, I use it to. It's hot. I use it to make my body. Sure, my body butter. So with this, we're bringing the life to an end, and I want to say thank you to everybody who joined. You, stay quiet. I want to say thank you to everybody who joined. Thank you to everybody who interacted. Thank you to everybody who asked questions, reasonable questions that pertained to what we talked about. Yeah. So this is me wishing you a happy new year in advance. And I'm hoping that you take your skincare journey, you know, a notch higher in the coming year. So from all of us here, this is a happy new year in advance. Thank you.